allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Motion to approve the previous board minutes, please.
Make a motion to approve the previous board minutes.
Second.
Roll call. Pat?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes, ma'am.
Bruce?
Yes. Do you guys want to go over the treasurer's report, or do you want to table it until Rick's here?
I'm okay with tabling it.
I need a motion.
Make a motion, we table the treasurer's report until next month?
Second.
All agree?
Yep.
Yes.
I didn't see anything that jumped out, other than just trending. We can discuss more of that on the second, or whatever day we meet. All right, unfinished business. Declaration of election results.
So yes, under unfinished business, directors, and good evening. The election was certified by our county clerk. The results are in and certified. Mr. Bruce A. Becker received a total of 1,372 votes. Thomas Tormenino received 937. Mr. Ron Walters, 406, and Mr. Kelvin Martin, 202. So they are certified. We have it on file. Will be with our minutes.
So do we need to adjourn this board, right?
So you need to adjourn this board, signed aye.
Okay,
And then we can do the,
and I need a motion for that.
Make a motion, we adjourn this
Signed
board,
aye.
signed aye.
yeah,
Second.
Bruce.
And the secretary needs to call to order the newly elected board acting as temporary chairperson.
So you need to do the oath first. So these actual,
You want the oath first? All right. It's not on the list that way. Okay. Well, let me know.
you're good, yeah.
Try to follow directions.
So if we're going to do the oath, I would like to move into our community area. We all are welcome to come in and have a seat, and we'll do the oath in there.
If that's what you want to do, Chief, that's what we'll do.
So, welcome everyone this evening for this event, this ceremony. Let me just start off by introducing myself. I'm your fire chief here. I'm Chief Mike Marlowe. And I'm honored to be here this evening for this special ceremony. Say a little bit about our family here, our district, for those that don't know, and obviously we're being filmed, so maybe a lot of our outsiders will see this and understand a little bit more how we operate. So obviously we're a fire protection district here at Lincoln County Fire, and by state statute we're a political subdivision. Political subdivision has elected officials, and that's our governance. We have 3 elected officials here, and I'll introduce them at this time. Our President Chairperson, Ken Elliott, and our Secretary, Pat Reed. And then tonight, we'll swear in, oath of office, our Treasurer Director, Bruce Becker. Now, a little history with that. Director Becker was appointed by our board several months back when we had a vacant seat here. So, a little bit about our district before I get into the real purpose here is our Director Becker. We cover a large area of Lincoln County, and we're honored to do so, assisting our citizens, our business leaders, and all of the above, and doing what we do so very well. But we do that with our firefighters and our administrative staff. So I want to take a quick moment to introduce that. What I call our backbone of our district, our ops guy, our Assistant Chief Robert Sharama. And then the other part of our backbone of our district is our administrative side. And that's led by our administrator, Donna Creech, and to her assistant, Linda Gant. Also on our department, we're blessed to have, is our Fire Marshal, Steve Moser. So thank you all. I have to say too, obviously, the real true backbone are our firefighters, and they're back behind us here. There's too many to introduce, but thank you to our firefighters and our captains here for what they do. And our volunteers. This is a combination department. We have Chief Fair here who's on our volunteer staff, and we thank our volunteers. We're a large district. We are the only career combination department in Lincoln County. All the other departments are volunteer, so we're quite busy. So without further ado, I want to talk a little bit about what this night's about with this oath of office. And if I didn't brag about this individual, he certainly wouldn't. But we're honored to have this gentleman as our elected official here, and I'll go over just a little bit of why. So, Mr. Bruce Becker and his wife, Lene, are currently reside in the city of Troy. Bruce retired from the Missouri State Highway Patrol as a Master Sergeant on August 1st, 2022, after 27 years of distinguished service. Bruce finished his career with the Highway Patrol as the officer in charge of the Gaming Enforcement Unit at Horseshoe Casino in St. Louis, prematurely as a funeral director. Bruce periodically works as an Army contractor working for Native American Technologies Consulting on U.S. Army Corps and Division level training exercises throughout the year. Bruce is the Junior Vice Commander of the Lincoln County Memorial Veterans of Foreign Wars, Post 8828, Troy, Missouri. He also serves as the Finance Officer for John I. Wilson Memorial American Legion, Post 94, Troy, Missouri. Becker is the Vice President of the 35th Infantry Division Association, Fort Leavenworth, Kansas. He is a member of the Knights of Columbus Council 6525 and Elks Lodge 2085, Troy, Missouri. Quite an honored amount of stuff, sir, and thank you for that. So, without further ado, we'll go ahead with the ceremony. I'd like to ask the immediate family to come up, and we'll do our oath of office. So let's look that way. And let me get this way. We okay with this? I, Bruce Becker,
I, Bruce Becker,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of Missouri,
the Constitution of Missouri,
and that I will faithfully demean
that I will faithfully demean
myself in the office of Director
myself in the office of Director
for the Board of the Lincoln County Fire Protection District Number 1,
for the Board of the Lincoln County Fire Protection District Number 1,
for which I was elected
for which I was elected
on the 2nd day of April, 2024.
on the 2nd day of April, 2024.
Congratulations. So we have a few refreshments available, cookies, cupcakes. At this time, we're going to go ahead and move back into our boardroom area to continue our meeting. Oh yeah.
I just wanted to thank everyone who supported me during this time, especially my wife, who was a very strong supporter, and Ron, who was very helpful back there. Look forward to serving the citizens of the district over the next 6 years. I'm proud to represent everyone in our district, the administration, staff, and our firefighters. I'll continue to serve with integrity, honor, and fiscal responsibility, and what you expect me to be. I do acknowledge that I did not have unanimous support in this election, and I hope that we can come together and work as a team, and that I can earn your trust and support. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Never mind.
So, yep. So we'll call this meeting back to order. So if you guys would like to elect your new president. And I have a motion and a second for anyone.
On the same president.
Motion.
Elect Ken.
Motion to elect Ken. Second by Pat. Roll call, Pat.
Yes.
Bruce.
Yes.
Ken.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now you're the president. You can take over and get your nominations for your secretary and your treasurer.
Can I take a nomination for secretary?
I'll nominate Pat.
Want to keep it the same?
Good. Okay.
Second by
Me?
Ken?
No, I can't second my own motion.
Yes, you
No, I
can.
motion.
Yeah.
Whatever, I'm
Yeah.
tired.
It's okay. So, yeah, Pat,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes, ma'am.
Bruce.
Yes.
I make a motion we elect Bruce as treasurer.
Second,
Yes, ma'am.
roll call, Pat,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes, ma'am.
Bruce.
Yes.
Welcome all.
Okay. We done with all this?
Yep.
Moving on? Okay, good. Correspondence report, Donna?
So I have the bank stuff, so I have People's Bank, and we can get afterwards, and you all can sign them if you want, or you can do them now.
Afterwards is fine.
Yep. And then, so we did have our first request for, sorry I added this, for the audit for the board funds. So went through and did a whole audit thing and a whole sheet for Gilmore and Bell. So that was cool, haven't heard nothing bad back, so,
Can we get a copy of that?
yeah. It's just a little spreadsheet.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Sorry, and then, I'm requesting that you move from a major amount of funds, so 1.7 from Bank of Old Monroe to People's Bank for the better interest. And we still have over $6 million in the bank at Bank of Old Monroe, so we're not like taking it from them, but we're getting significant amount of interest if you are wanting to do that. And you all agree to do that?
Hope so, I just signed it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then approval for the bills, please.
I make a motion to approve the bills.
Second.
Roll call, Pat,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes, ma'am.
Bruce.
Yes.
And we did add one in there, there's just a little over 12,000 for
I
the
saw that.
uniforms, they are uniforms today, so, and we get a discount for paying early, so I threw it in there.
Paying early is good.
Yeah.
So. That is all I have.
Thank you. Chief?
Thank you and good evening again, Board. First item up under the Chief's report is SCBA update, self-contained breathing apparatus. So the Board recalls that we have some concerns with the safety functionality of our mask, of our SCBA's in Draeger. We had some meetings over it recently, the Board was advised, and we decided that we would have our District Attorney Mike Cameron write a letter to Draeger and to the vendor Banner about these concerns. We waited a couple, 2 or 3 weeks, but because of the priority of this issue, we asked Mr. Cameron to redirect another letter that way, and he did. And we did receive a correspondence back from Draeger, and we're satisfied with that correspondence. We kind of heard through the grapevine that they were going to replace all of our defective areas of our mask, the voice amps that are falling off, and replace them with other types of voice amps that are better secured, but we hadn't got the official letter yet. Late this afternoon, I was able to check my emails, and District Attorney Cameron did hear from Draeger's attorneys, and they are willing to replace all of our defective parts on our mask with updated, corrected parts that will be safety secure. It's going to be my recommendation we accept that proposal, and then we'll work with the logistics of getting that done as soon as possible. So that's where we're at with the SCBA's.
They give us a timeline?
Immediately, they're prepared to make the exchange. I don't know, have you heard any different, Alan?
Yeah, they already asked for our address for shipping labels and all that, so.
So I mean, I think they'll do it right away.
So we're gonna try these, and if they don't work,
Well, we're still up to debate on what we want to do, but this puts us in a better position. Number one, it puts us in a better safety position with our mask. That's priority. And number two, if we go the other direction with new SCBA's, these will have a better resale and a better trust with them because they'll be better safety compliant. So I would say the jury's still out on what the end result's going to be coming back to the board, but at this time at least I would be feeling a whole lot better about the safety concerns with these masks, with these replacement parts.
have we heard from anyone that's had them replaced and
I have not.
We test these out, these new parts?
The
the rest of the departments that got air packs, and we did got the other voice amps and haven't had an issue with them.
So it is promising.
Yeah,
But
it
Go ahead.
it is a less expensive voice amp than the one we got. So replacing,
So they just, yeah.
so we are getting.
We're getting a replacement, but not our money
We're getting a
back.
replacement, but not at the extent of what we paid to
What was the
purchase.
difference?
I don't even.
I don't know. I can get those answers for you.
I would say close to, we probably paid double what we're probably getting a replacement for.
These were
But we can
purchased.
say we got 4 years on it too.
Yeah, right.
From once we install them.
Pardon me?
From when
Once we
bought-
start using them or start installing them, we'll get 4 years out of them?
No, we've got 4 years on the ones we're using.
Gotcha, okay,
That's-
okay,
that's-
gotcha.
That might hinder us getting any money out of them, so.
Yes, and they are in disrepair now, so I mean, they're not getting back usable
Right.
parts. But I wouldn't mind asking them for a little more.
Yeah, you don't get what you don't ask for, right? So I guess let's look at the cost on those and,
Because I didn't see whatever your communications is with.
I just got it out, so. It's
But
the
whatever-
same, it's basically the same that you forwarded to me through, that source, unofficial source.
So on there, they were just gonna give us back, because we originally only purchased like the 12 adapters for the radios. I would like to ask them to give us all 24 adapters for the radios, if that's not in there for.
I thought it was
24. The one that I seen said 24 voice amps and only 12 radio adapters.
Oh, yeah, well, I haven't gotten down to the nuts and bolts and compare both from the attorneys yet. We'll do that
Okay.
at our next meeting and get together.
Okay.
We'll get better answers for you on the cost adjustments and whatevers. I just want to let the board know tonight that, this is concerning about these masks, as we all know. We need to get that part moving forward. And then we'll kind of figure out what we're going to do down the road as far as are we going to replace them with new ones and what that looks like. And I'll get you some answers on what that price differences were. Because that is a very good point. I didn't get involved in the purchase of these, but we should get back whatever we put into those, maybe in another way. We'll see what we can do.
okay.
All right?
You guys, hold on.
Yes.
You guys got anything? No. Sorry,
No, you're fine.
thank you.
Next item up is Station 2 concrete crack update. So, again, the board recalls we've had some issues, call it what you want, with some cracking in our concrete at Station 2's engine bay area. There's a lot of cracking down there. We've had conversation with LCS about it and Matt and I at Navigate, and we're working through a solution. The solution presented to us a couple weeks ago, a month ago, and the board was given that information was one of two things. We could take a settlement amount from them in the avenue of $4,350, which is a no. And the other avenue that they presented was bringing in a professional company to diamond drill those cracks and then put a product down that's been proven to work in both cosmetically and correcting the problem.
In firehouses,
Well, I don't know.
okay.
I don't know if they've done them in firehouses, but they've done them in other manufacturing plants or
So it's
whatever.
been proven to work somewhere other than firehouses, which,
So that's why they wanted to do a test pattern at a firehouse, ours. So they came out, they did an area, they tested it, and they drilled it out and cut it out and put in the product, and frankly, I think it's a satisfactory solution. I asked the captains to report on it, and most have been pretty quiet about it, so I think they've seen it and they're okay with what they've seen. Pat, I think you went down and
I
took a
stopped
look
by
at it.
Station 2 this morning, and the guys pointed out to me, I was really surprised how many cracks are in the floor, as far as that goes, but the area they pointed out to me, it looked pretty good, I think it's gonna work.
It's not that new though, I mean. it's
No,
not that
no,
old.
no,
It's
but
pretty
it's
new.
gonna be, it's gonna be a lot of work for them to do that. So, as long as we're not paying for it.
We're not paying for it, it's all being paid through LCS or their subcontractors. And then they'll do a final cut on that concrete pad that they didn't do, what they should have done. And that should help also with stopping some of those cracks. So what I just asked the board is permission to move forward with that solution at this time.
Based on what I saw, I'm okay with it. I think it's gonna work and suffice for what we need, so.
If they do this, what kind of warranty or guarantee are they offering on this product or solution?
So that's a very good question, Director, and we worked with that. So we got our legal advice involved. Matt Matheny is he works out of Mike Cameron's office. He's our contractor attorney. That's what he does. We reached out to him through Matt and I, Navigate, and he composed a letter that basically said if we're not satisfied with this product working, then we want another solution. So it was presented to LCS, and LCS attorneys denied the letter. They said, no, we'll stick behind the original warranty for that building. That report was given back to Matt Matheny, our attorney, and he read it over and he reported back that he was comfortable with that response. We tried for a better one, it's not gonna work, but he's comfortable with that response. So what we'll have is our normal warranty, plus the company that will do the product, which is Acoustic Concrete out of St. Louis City. They'll stand behind that product for so many years, and I'll get that, what that warranty looks like.
And if it fails, we go back to the
So if
original
it fails, they'll come back
construction
out
warranty.
and recut it and then reseal it, because they did say that, whatever causing the cracking could continue. So a year or two down the road, the joints may pull apart. They'll come in, they'll recut it and reseal it.
We'll see.
So I'm okay to move forward?
I'm okay with it.
Yes.
Sound good.
Okay, thank you. Next up items. So our pension, our 401-457 is governed by a plan, and the plan is developed through a company called, well, back in the day it was PARS. And PARS was bought out by a company, and they called that ELK Financial. And Mr. Matt, Donna, help me with Matt's last name. Matt Ott. So Matt Ott called us up, a couple, 2 or 3, 4 weeks ago, and he's bought out another company called K-Plans. It's just another company that he bought out, and he's moving ELK into K-Plans. Well, what that means is I have to sign documents allowing him to now work under K-Plans as a company, and then Empowered, who has our mutual funds, has to be given permission instead of dealing with Mr. Matt Ott at ELK, they are now dealing with Mr. Matt Ott at K-Plans. All of our contact information, everything is consistent. All the people that Donna works with are still in place. Our training person is still coming through. He's the same person. It's just simply a name change. I passed this information along to our benefits committee here that we have, and the shop steward gave him the information. I did not hear anything back. That's usually a good sign that it's all good. So all I'm asking from the board is permission to sign off on those documents, moving from ELK to K-Plans. I sent that material to the board last week.
Yeah. You guys are good?
I mean, it's not like we can change right now.
That's kind of what I was thinking, so, yeah. Where's Matt Ott's office?
270 down in the Pears area, St. Louis County.
My tax advisor's named Matt Ott. I'm just curious if it's not the same
Right,
guy.
he's the same guy. He's got his hands in a lot of stuff.
Yeah. So I don't know if that'll be a problem, but I don't think it would be. It is the same guy.
So permission to sign off on that? You don't need a vote on that, do you, Dennis?
I'm good with that.
Good.
Good.
All right, next item up, water leak Station 1 update. So, you know, our renovation here is coming to a conclusion. They worked on our little panel over here and got that fixed. There's a couple of locks yet to be addressed and we're done. And Eilers, back when the board accepted them as our GC, you know, we didn't know the company. And to be honest with you all, they've been very good. We've been very happy and pleased with them. One of our continual problems here, and we just couldn't figure out, is our notorious water leak down here. And it has damaged our equipment. Could never figure out what the problem was. Eilers took on the assignment and they did some extensive work where they had to move stone away from the front of the building and re-caulk. And that actually settled 99% of our problem. The other day, after a thunderstorm, we noted a little leak appearing on one side, just a dribble. We brought it to Eilers' attention. He called his guys back out there. And what they did is they dug down along the foundation out front between the office door and the engine bay door. And they found a couple of items down there that's possible problem. The drain tile that flows along there when the building was built was kinked. But once they straightened it out, it was clear. There was no debris in it, so that's a good thing. The other problem they found were some hairline cracks in the actual foundation. Now the solution to that is simple. They took some tar, hot tar, and resealed everything right along that pathway. Then they flooded the area, and they came down here and they checked it, no leak. So we got our fingers crossed. We're cautiously optimistic. Robert's still concerned about a northwest storm to come in, and we'll see what happens. But we're hopeful that we may have solved the notorious water leak problem here.
Northwest storm, that's what we like to call Steve Fair.
Thank you.
Not that northwest. So that's my report.
Okay. Robert?
Had a lot of training going on in April and first part of May. Two of our firefighters attended a 3-day incident safety officer class, first week of April. Last week we hosted the 24-hour aerial operator class. We had 23 of our career members attend, 3 firefighters from Winfield Foley and 1 from Melville attended. So a great response. Winfield brought their ladder truck over too, so we was able to use their ladder truck and ours. And there was about a half a day of testing to get it right through it, but I think it went very well.
How did our ladder hold up?
Really? No. Had one little issue with the nozzle and they reset it, and after that it did fine.
Good.
Not saying when they did their inspection, they pointed out a lot of faults in the ladder, but yes, it's still, it worked the best it could, yes. Last Friday, we assisted with the Special Olympics at the high school. I know the directors sponsored a portion of that, over 700 participants. So it was a great thing. So thank you for trying to do every year here in Troy, and then back to Wright City itself. So thanks for everybody that helped on that. We have 1 member attending a trench rescue class this week up in Moberly. 2 members are attending the fire investigator class, kind of a blended class this month. We're looking at holding a written certification test on May 14th. So everybody that's went through the tech rescue class, the aerial operator class, they can take the state certification testing. Pike Lincoln is going to be a test center. Some of their individuals are going to go up there on the 27th and test. We're going to try to do it here, and they can only test 200 questions of total at a time. So try to get one good test set here on 14th. I got to run up there and get their computers. Chief Shepherd over Winfield will proctor it, and then I'll take them back. So trying to get more of our testing done here. 1 member is attending the FDIC classes this week. 2 firefighters have signed up to retake the driver operator class, and I think we're gonna have. We have 3 dates set up to tour the Toyota plant this month for all 3 shifts: the 22nd, the 25th, and the 30th. So we'll be over there touring that. We're hosting 2 thermal imaging classes One on April 30th and the next one's on May 1st. It's gonna have 2 different crews. We did get funding to pay for one of the classes, but we're paying for the other class. Kind of volunteers, Winfield Foley's coming over on the night, and then we actually have Winsville coming over the day class too. So we'll have some good participation in that. So far, I even haven't put it out yet, but we have 4 members signed up for the University Fire and Rescue Training Summer Fire School. They are doing the rope rescue courses there and being paid for by the division. We got a funding for that, and then one's doing Officer 2 class. So we got a good response there already. We received the 10 sets of bunker gear that we got on our $20,000 matching grant from last year, 2023. The gear come in and didn't have the correct ID tag on it. It's supposed to be paid for by state something. They took it back, they sealed it on, and it's already fallen off. There's enough of our picture to say that this is on there.
We just won't tell them that it's.
We won't tell them. But I'm filling out the final paperwork now to submit to get our funding back. We had to pay for the $40,000 up front, and then we'll get approximately $20,000 back. So hopefully within next month we'll get that, hopefully. There's a few hoops we're getting taken care of. May 6th will be assisted in the conservation department in Troy City, and I think the Elks participate in that too, with fishing at the,
Oh, you should go do that.
yeah.
Watch for the geese.
Wednesday morning's the best because it's Sacred Heart and it's pretty good. The rest of the days, you get 70-something kids. And
That's the one you want, more than 70-something kids.
yeah, it's a lot, but it's fun, it is. May 6th, we do have Hawk Point Fires coming over on a Monday night with our volunteers. We're going to do some structural fire training. And then the following Saturday, Jonesbury Fire is coming over and doing the same thing too. And that's what I have.
Got anything? Nope. Mr. Mosier.
The month of March was rather busy.
The city look busy?
It was. It was, you did 35 inspections in the month of March.
Yeah.
It's a lot of stuff's coming to a close, Bridge of Hope, Alchemy Restoration. The elementary school is, it's not done, but there's, all your drywall's up for the most part. We're putting ceilings in there. Then you can go Troy Senior Housing, all the roofs are done there on those villas, right down off North Lincoln. So it's coming together. Whitty Brothers, if you hadn't been by Whitty Brothers in a while, it's a big box. And they're probably gonna fill the ammonia tank this week. So it's wrapping up pretty quick. The racking's going in. I mean, it's a big box. It'll be full from the floor to the ceiling, so.
Sure.
Yeah, pretty much what you had. But you have, so Elite Tool turned in a plan for 120,000 square foot warehouse.
Saw that.
You can drive by the building on the wedge, like 145 South Lincoln, you see there's work going on there. So that work is, they're putting the same use groups back in there. So there is an apartment on that second floor. So that's kind of an oddity. I don't think everybody realized that. But he's putting quite a bit of money in that building to.
Should have tore it down.
Anyway, it'll be a nice structure when he's done, I'm sure.
Is that
That's the one that's
was that the tattoo shop?
Yeah, I was gonna say, is that
The
the one?
brick building that has like the.
It's the old Romar building.
Technically, it was old Markwood's dealership.
Yeah.
Well, needless to say, it's having quite a few of its sins corrected, so we're gonna do the best we can with it and go from there. But that's really all I have for you.
Did we ever get any more information on our Highway H water issues?
I can address that if you want me to.
Well, we do have some info, but go ahead, Steve.
So there's conflicting stories on that, but and the lawyers are all involved. And if you would like any documentation from either Oasis or Calvary, because they're in on it together, they'd be happy to come to a meeting or provide that for you on everything that they have reached out to and that sort of thing. So right now it's down to the water district is requiring only their installer to install the material and only their designer to design the material. or design the system, and quite frankly, it's significantly more expensive using their people than what they could just bid out from anybody else and have the same work done.
And they can do that?
Well, that's what the lawyers are talking about.
Okay.
So, and if that's the case, they'll do it, but I've never seen that before from anybody else. That,
Sounds like somebody's being stubborn.
that's one way to put it. Yeah.
I am on film.
Yeah.
Or whatever that is in one video.
So,
How's that hydrant? Do we test that?
So I'm gonna let Robert comment on that, but yes, we did. We went there and we flow tested all the hydrants in the area. Just to let the board know, I mean, I know it's a lay across Highway H, but there's a hydrant right there at Highway H and the crossroad. What is it, Cross Street?
Snyder.
Schneider Road. I mean, so I mean, you can lay that line to Oasis. And then of course, the homeless shelter home has that hydrant there, like we talked, right there at the Public Works. That's right there across from them. So so it's not that they don't have a hydrant. I'll let Robert comment on the flow on them.
We went out and talked to the water district, and they actually gave us a map, which is pretty cool. So along Highway H, it's actually an 8-inch line. When it goes across Snyder Road, it goes down to a 2-inch line. So there's no way that you can go to Calvary and put a hydrant over on Snyder Road unless they're under line. Going back where it goes to the highway department, it goes to a 6-inch line. And then where the health department is, that's a 6-inch also. But it goes to the highway department and then cuts across the field over to the health department. It's not like it comes right off of 8 straight over to it. The highway department flows about 500 gallons a minute. And that's a 6-inch line. I think it's just got 2.5s, if I remember right. The one on the highway's got the steamer 2.5s, but it just barely did a little over 550. So it doesn't have, it's got the volume, it don't have the flow to it, so. That's where they're at itself. But we did get a nice map of, a digital map that we can see the water district itself. My subdivision got a 4-inch main coming down it, which I didn't know, so it's kind of. So yeah, we definitely got conflicting stories, what they told us and then what Steve's telling us, so there's definitely somebody in the middle that we don't need to be the ones.
So pre-plans were discussed for that area if we have an issue. Can we implement any of that?
So we're gonna have a company officers meeting coming up,
Okay.
and then we'll start talking about pre-plans at that point, and what we're gonna pre-plan and how we're gonna do it. Honestly, we need to start doing them when time allows on any of our high hazard areas. So that's something we can talk about in our company officers meeting.
Okay. Security cameras?
Yes, sir, under old business. So we went out to bid on our security cameras. We received 4 bids. The board directed us to go back and talk about these bids, and Robert and I went back and we talked about them, and this is what we kind of came up with in a nutshell. So 2 of the bids we kind of said were kind of like out of what I would call acceptable pricing. GSD, as the board reported, came in at $44,891. TSI $35,036. So I kind of just scratched them off as probable nots. So the other 2 up for consideration would be ADT and a company called Assurance. And I did some research on both, and as far as references go, obviously ADT's been around since the early 1800s, a national company, well known in what they can do and what they can't do. So, you know, really no question there. Their price came in at $24,887. Assurance is a company that I was not familiar with. I called all the references on Assurance, and they were good references. I did a little background work on the cameras, and this is where I'm going to leave this up to the board. So, basically the federal government did a Congress Act back years ago called the National Defense Authorization Act. Also, it's NDAA compliant. Basically what that means is on federal government properties where they have security cameras, it has to be American-made cameras. They cannot be cameras made from China. Specifically a brand name that they said not to purchase. Assurance purchases these cameras from China, that name brand. So they are not NDAA compliant. Now, I know we're not the federal government, I'm just giving this information to the board. Their numbers came in at 18,700, so there is a little bit of a difference. As far as their work performance, their cameras, actually what they do, the folks that I referenced was very pleased with them. But they are not NDAA compliant. ADT is.
Who are we using for Station 2?
TSI.
And how much was TSI?
TSI was 35,036.
ADT?
ADT was 24,887.
The other question, if you went with, whatever cameras they're putting in, there's also the backbone software system that runs it. If you stay with TSI, is it all compliant and can be seen across the network? If you go with one of these others, you're gonna have two different softwares?
No matter what, you'll just have two different softwares. You're logging on to Station 2 to see theirs. This one here will be a separate server itself.
Right, but I mean, as far as like two completely different systems, like.
That'd be correct.
So you wouldn't be you'd have to learn how to use each one or whatever. You wouldn't have the same system, it wouldn't be identical.
That's correct.
But is that worth $11,000?
Right.
Me personally, I've had issues with TSI, that the remote viewing of them, I've had multiple difficulties and still not able to do that, so.
So honestly, what Robert just said leads me to ADT, because they assured me that it's a simple process. They've been around since, like I said, 1897, and they started up in the East Coast. I mean, they promised us that they can get an app out and get it on your phone, your desktop, wherever you want to put it. So the question is the difference in, or do you want to be NDAA compliant? That's your question.
Or TSI?
I did not call them, Pat, because of their price.
No, are they, oh, you don't know if they're.
I don't know.
They just bring in
I would bet you
Chinese
they are.
cameras.
I would bet you.
We're not
I'm not
discussing national secrets, but.
Right. Well,
I mean, you can see why you're not gonna put a China-made camera at the Pentagon, right? So they just developed this for the national government, but I'm just saying.
And ADT's claiming that theirs are American-made and.
They're American-made and compliant, yes.
I want to table this to May 2nd.
Okay.
TSI is what we agreed upon when we built Station 2? Is that what we-
Yeah, that was original, yeah.
Did we bid on that?
No, that was all done through the GC.
Okay.
You good with that?
Huh?
You good with tabling it for 2 weeks?
Yes.
And I believe that's all I have under old business.
New business?
There is no new business on my end.
Mr. Hire?
We've been getting some warranty work done on the trucks, but nothing too major that hasn't been under warranty.
You representing the shop today, too?
I can, I guess, yes. Nothing new that I know of. Paul didn't ask me to bring it.
Okay. Okay.
Remember have 18?
Oh, yeah, on 18, the engine, they tried to get an engine from another dealership that had them in stock. So they got one, it wasn't right, they got another one, it wasn't right. So they've had to go directly to Ford. I did not talk to them this week to see if they got one.
I haven't had a chance to get down.
So they had to order one directly from Ford to get the right one. They were having an issue. It's a different crank. So they were just trying to get one faster for us is what they did. But they had to order one directly from Ford. They said they put it in as a fire request, so he's she said, that bumps us up the line, but I don't know whether that's a year.
You gotta find out this guy's working on it.
Yeah. She did not give a timeline and said they hadn't heard anything yet, so.
Community outreach?
We had a family displaced from a fire a couple weeks ago.
Right.
We normally try to keep them here in town, but none of the hotels allow animals, multiples of 3 and 4. So we moved them down to Winsville for a couple nights. I believe that's all I got.
The place up in,
It does.
Keep them in the same bed they just left. And keep clothes. But
good and welfare.
I'd like to add one thing under good and welfare. Assistant Chief briefly commented on it, but I want to expand a little bit on a special thank you for the Special Olympics. It was done very well. Linnell, the chief's wife, worked on that. She did a fabulous job. Of course, the school district did a fabulous job out there. Our firefighters on C Shift did a fabulous job. They came out, they helped with the awards, they helped with photos, and Pat was out there and did some great work. And I want to thank the board. The school district wants to thank the board. The board in your generous donation for the Special Olympics. And they wanted me to bring that to your attention, so a special thank you to you too.
Okay.
And that's all I had.
No commendations on our grab over in Moscow?
No, I mean, it was a grab, but, we move on.
Yeah. I thought it was pretty cool. Okay.
We do.
A lot of fire lately.
It's a busy district. Except they don't call us down to Winsville for the third alarm, but that's okay.
Why is that?
The enclaves.
Maybe you can talk to the chief about that.
Maybe we should.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, why is that, chief?
It's probably how he set it up in dispatch. So, who did we really point the finger at? Touche. Good answer.
Touche, mon frere. If we don't have anything else, I think we need to, you want to move into closed? Okay, are we gonna adjourn now and not open up again?
I don't think we're gonna open up again.
Pardon?
I don't think we need to open up again.
You're the one that called it.
So,
Okay,
make a motion, we move into closed without reopening pursuant to section 610.021 subsection 3 personnel.
Second,
Second it.
roll call, Pat,
Yes.
Bruce,
Yes.
Ken,
yes, ma'am.
Oh, are y'all doing another board meeting or y'all figure that out?
keeping it on the second, you said, right?
As of now,
Keep it
yeah,
second for now.
yeah, thank you.
Minutes
Because we
motion?
can't figure out what the heck we're doing. So.
8 a.m. on the second?
It is
I thought it
9.
was,
That was 9?
yeah. I thought it
Okay.
was 9, yeah.
I'm gonna motion to adjourn, and you're all good, and we'll go. Motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I thought we were adjourning.
Second. No, you closed.